this is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, January 3, 2025, about 3:30, about 3:30, a little after 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight. We got a lot of ground to cover. Ask yourself, when was the last time that you were content? Or were focused in the now, in a comfortable position, relaxed into the body, as still as you can be, focused on your breath rising and falling. But do you remember the last time it was where you were content? Because when you are content, you're in communication with your soul and the God within it. And you're in the moment and the now. That's how you'll know that when you feel contentment, the contentment is coming from your soul, from the God that you are, from within. How many of us on this planet in this very now moment are content? Now there's certain depictions or comprehensions in this life and all lives that we've experienced. Now, some of it is spot on, and then, of course, there's the other part that just doesn't vibrate right. And that's why we're careful about what we read or what we listen to, and to always be curious. And if there's something that you say to yourself, you look at it from a childlike curiosity because it's different. You know what I mean? Something that it isn't run-of-the-mill that you're presented with. And so you're curious. You want to see what it's about. You know, what the whole, why is it there? Now, the interesting thing is that we have a God within us. The God is who we communicate with, is who is looking out of our eyes in this body, out of the eyes of this body. The God is that which we pray to. If you're going to worship something, worship the God that you are. For a very long time in this civilization, this particular species, we've been taught that, and it has been quite effective for a very long time, and the cycle is coming to an end. And it is that just about everything is outside of us, that we don't have this power that is with us always. That we don't have any of that. We don't have this manifesting ability. We don't have this insight, if you will. We are not a God in the body. The God is outside of us. There really isn't anything after you leave the body. This is why so many people are fearful. And more people are coming full circle, discovering and deciding for themselves is that they aren't going to follow that script because they know it's not true. And the more that we move into the clearness of spirituality and not the fogged version of it where you have over thousands of religions and different programming. I mean, it's packed with stuff that this civilization, you choose to take a direction, you choose to believe this, choose to believe that. But the biggest thing that is here is it's like a magnetized energy where you, all of us, become unified. So we're one as the gods that we are. Many of us have a difficult time with that one. Doesn't it make sense that once we discover that we are the God in the body, the pure consciousness, that we unify while in these physical forms? And you just kind of toss aside all of the idiosyncrasies, the things that you were taught, the directions and what you believe, and you just kind of lay it to the side. And we unify. Now that's a force that cannot be affected when you unify as one God, as one body. That's a whole different ballgame. And you will see that happening on this planet. It has not ever happened before, not even close. But we are moving to that, the culmination of a transfer of religion, man-made religion, and spirituality. It isn't about winning, it's about embracing our true origin. And our true origin is not physical material life. That's temporary entertainment. Our true origin is that we are pure, unadulterated, cosmic sourced energy that continues forever. Along the way, we inhabit different forms to experience them, which is our entertainment. As we do, we pick up a tremendous amount of experience, we learn, we reach different levels of divine perfection as the gods that we are, and we continue. As things become more discoverable for us, we then begin to comprehend the fact is that we move in the now, we exist in the now, and we have mastered the ego mind and our thoughts. This is where we're going. And when you master the ego mind through the heart mind. There isn't any other way. And so the ego mind becomes relaxed for the first time in its existence. It just becomes relaxed. It doesn't have that fear anymore. And it's under your direction for the first time in its existence. Same with our thoughts. As I've mentioned many times before, we begin to manage our thoughts, not micromanage, but we know what we're putting out there. There's always an element of surprise because we do that on purpose. But unifying is going to come full circle on this planet. And I don't mean, a group of people that are slapping each other on the back and that type of thing. I mean genuinely one. Where we know that we are parts of each other and that we're here to create a God planet paradise. Where we don't get sucked into anger, confrontation, disappointment. Doesn't exist. But moving out of 3D, a lot of people have asked, how does that happen? Let's say that the only way that you go into 5D is by increasing your vibrational frequency. You increase your vibrational frequency by meditation and focusing on the now and mastering the ego mind and your thoughts. this increases your vibrational frequency. And it keeps increasing exponentially because as you go along, you begin to enjoy it more and more. First, it's a little out of context because of the fact that you're so habitualized in 3D. 3D's taught us a lot, many lifetimes. Then people say, well, what about the people that are in 3D, that are going to stay in 3D? Well, it's like this. You have two people. One goes into much higher vibrational frequency. The other one stays pretty much in the third dimension frequency. Now, as your frequency goes higher, it's almost like you vanish, you disappear, which means that memory of that also disappears. You move into an entirely different existence. You're not in 3D anymore. Nor would you you won't go to 3D again, ever. You're done with it. And your commitment is in the fifth dimensional frequency. And as you're going through, as you head to fifth dimensional frequency, you go through the adjustment of 4D and then into 5. It's kind of like a pass-through. And all these frequencies are what you send out. That's it. There is no galactic flash. There never has been. It's going to set everything up, and boom, there you are. We wouldn't learn anything from that. This is why we do it this way, so that we have the opportunity to learn, to experience. One might say, so there is a three-dimensional Earth and a five-dimensional Earth. Yeah, exactly. And a 6, and a 7, and an 8, and a 9, and a 10, 11, 12. So, but these bodies are, as I have said, they are structured for 5D. Okay? People go, well, how the heck do you know that? Remember, there's no coincidence. So we have 5 fingers on each hand. We have 5 toes on each foot. Now, that doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. We don't have 6 toes. We don't have 7 or 8 toes. We have 5. So we are fifth dimensional beings who kind of got lost and fell into a cow pie of 3D. Once we got up, we started figuring it out. And then on top of it, we had amnesia. So we didn't really remember where we came from. And this is what we've been doing ever since. Reincarnating into a different life, and without, majority of the time, without any memory of past lives, and we just do the best we can to figure out who and what we are. Now, as this shifts, as it's done tremendously so, it dislodges a lot of the frequencies on this planet. It dislodges them. Right now, what you look at is so far from the truth that it is ridiculous. Everything you're listening to and watching is so far from the truth, it is absolutely ridiculous. You will see comments, and you're going to start seeing Jesus near-death experiences. Jesus told me this, told me that, this and that, so on and so forth, or God said this, and God said that. Does that make any sense when the majority of the population of this planet doesn't know who and what it is? In a way it does, right? And you'll see that a lot of people talk about what? God told me to do it. God told me to do it. Right? Now, if you don't know who and what you are, then you would automatically believe that God outside of you, this voice came from outside somewhere, and it communicated with you. This happened a lot with bicamerals for thousands of years on this planet, right? Right and left brain. No way to rationalize. Believing that statues are alive, that they live. And you got to remember that a lot of the information that we've been programmed with came from the bicameral age. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is just not true or real. And unfortunately, we've been programmed with that. And those of us that come to this meditation every day kind of know that everybody talks about fifth dimension and, you know, all this stuff and awakening and awareness, which is great. And then we have, you know, others talking about this and that, and you kind of eavesdrop at times. Sometimes it's not really something you're interested in, because our direction is to make this leap, is to go into the now and increase our vibrational frequency. What do we care about all that other stuff? Right? We're focused on moving into spirituality through our vibrational frequency of knowing, of discovering we're a God in this body and everything else is temporary. That's what we are. Pure consciousness. Omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant beings. And as the gods, we never die. Rather than, like we've done for so long, being distracted on things that are created out of nothing to convince us that we're something that we're not. And the majority of us experience that and live the life and then leave and then do it again and again and again and again and again. When the generation of children are born, there is deep faith that there will be enough of us that will teach those children from day one about who and what they are, about what this journey is all about, how powerful we are, how to go into heart-mindedness, how to master the ego mind. I'm telling you, that is going to be a huge game changer for this civilization. We won't operate the way we do now. You know, people harming others and just doing highly disrespectful things to others and themselves. And this has been going on way too long. And a lot of people don't like themselves, you know. A lot of people don't like a lot of things. There's a lot of people that are just full of hate and anger. This is all that is a reflection of what's going on within them. Somebody gets excited or angry at somebody and starts blasting them. It's not who's getting blasted. It's them. And we've been doing this so long that I believe that I'd say the majority of us would say it really is time to make this shift in spirituality. I mean, we know all the other stuff. And to move into fifth density, vibrational frequency, and we know, some of us know that it is up to us. It's not it's not something from outside of us. Never was. Okay. This is what's gotten us derailed so many times. It's like contentment is one of the mindsets that we use to direct our consciousness toward oneness. Oneness is the name of the game in yoga. True contentment is not just existential. It is an attitude of the soul rather than of the ego or personality. It is a view of life from the soul plane. So it's how the soul views this life. Love and compassion are emotions that arise from the soul. When you identify with your soul, you live in a loving universe. The soul loves everybody. It's like the sun. Brings out the beauty in each of us. You can feel that love radiating from your heart. And when we are in that love, we enjoy just being wherever we are. There's a lot to be said for contentment like that. Think of the kinds of experiences that give you a feeling of contentment. Maybe your contentment comes from being in nature, listening to the birds or the sound of the waves meeting the shore, looking at the sunset or the stars in the night sky, or contemplating a rose in the garden. Maybe it comes from singing or listening to music, sinking into a warm bath, or being touched in a way that eases the body. Maybe it comes from watching your child or being with your dog or cat. Maybe you experience it when looking into the eyes of a loved one. Those are experiences that touch our soul. Contentment isn't high on the priority list in this part of the world. We're all about achievement and consuming and getting more. Maybe we're afraid the wheels of progress and the economy will grind to a halt if everybody becomes content. A long time ago, there was someone who once was accusing meditators of bovine passivity. Living in the moment, being fully present, is anything but passive. But it does lead to a profound feeling that everything is just enough, a feeling of deep contentment. And you are ever again the wave, sweeping through all things. Now, the worst punishment is to throw someone out of your heart. You should not disturb anyone's heart. Even if a being hurts you, give them love. When you love God, you overcome all impurities. This is where we're heading. You should love everyone as God. If you do not love each other, you cannot achieve your goals. I've often said I'm here to serve, right? And Christ, the enlightened one, Christ means enlightened one, said to love all beings as children of God and serve them. We're here to serve each other. How are we doing on that? Do you ever put attention on that? How are we doing? Not as a ridicule on oneself or guilt or whatever. It's through heart-mindedness. How are we doing with that? Serving each other. The ego mind gets in the way. I'm not a servant. You ever heard that one? People ego-minded, it kicks in and says, oh, yeah. There's the ego and there's the soul, our spiritual self. They are, well, let's say they are different planes of consciousness. From the spiritual vantage point, we are all souls who have come into these incarnations. We take birth, and this is our incarnation. Here we are, each of us, an individual being. Because of the pull of the incarnation, we get so deeply into our roles that we forget that we truly are souls. With all the sensations, emotions, complications of being in a body, all the desires, we forget. We think, I am a man, I am a woman, I am from California, I am a mother, a father, a widow, a child, a something. I've got to be something, don't I? Think of all the ways you identify yourself with what you do. I am a teacher. I am a doctor. I'm a scientist. I'm a cook, a Jew, a Christian, or Muslim, a stockbroker. I'm an achiever. I am a spiritual seeker. That one can carry you for years. I am retired. All that is the ego. Who you think you are, the cluster of thoughts about how you identify yourself, thoughts about different roles that you play in society. When we meet someone, we ask, how do you do? And what do you do? But is what you do the same as who you are? Every one of our roles is a thought form. We confuse our souls with our roles. We don't see me as a soul. You see me as Bill Johnson, Mary Smith, as a body, a role. What does it matter whether I am a cellist or a pilot or a teacher? When you strip away the roles, this outer form is just the body. Who I am is just here instead of how do you do, how about, how do you be. Our inner being is beyond form. When you live from your soul and your heart is open, you can awaken other souls. You go into a grocery store, and it's like a temple. Everybody is a soul. Some think they are customers. Some think that they work there. You get to the checkout, and your eyes look for an instant with the clerks. Are you here? I'm here. Wow, a fellow soul. If you have children, your children are souls. They're just playing the roles of children. And you're in the mother or father role. If you're with a dying person, you see them as a soul. That transformation from ego to soul is easier to make. If as a caregiver, you're identified with your soul, it is easy to see the dying person or being as a soul and to ease their transition. You start to realize that how many of us in this present moment focus on the soul. How many of us experience contentment? How many of us truly, deeply, and eternally love ourselves? This is a choice that some of us embrace to finally discover that we're the soul with the God in the soul. Not the body, not the name, not any of this stuff. Not your occupation. And it's like you enter this vessel and you do a bunch of stuff, material, physical, and then you leave. So in the quiet time of this meditation, focus on be in this very moment, no matter what's happening outside of you, no matter what's happening inside of you or around you. Focus on being content and what that feels like, because all that is the God within you coming to the surface. Contentment. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return and close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on relaxing into your body and on your breath rising and falling. What a miracle you are. The fact that you're listening to this message right here, right now, is such a miracle. Do you know how many possible circumstances that could have gone wrong, yet didn't, in order for you to be alive in this moment? Trillions and trillions. Everything about you is truly miraculous. From the beating of your heart to the light shining through your eyes, every dimension of your being is perfect and untainted. You are amazing in every way because you are the light of God itself. Know this and let yourself feel that this universe is rejoicing big time in the name of today. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, the following morning. We'll return here tonight a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging, health call, and all the rest. And Saturday, January 4, 2025, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. You don't know what's going on within you, nor outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.